Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have prepared a special presentation today. But first, it appears someone is preparing a dish. Ah, breakfast. What would breakfast be if it wasn't the classic English fry-up? Sausage, veg, and most importantly, the succulent bacon. Made from duck, beef, or pork. The history of bacon will be traced back centuries to the time where curing meat is a way of preserving before the age of refrigeration. In this episode, we're going to find out what makes cured meat so delicious and the reason why it's the favorite of many people all over the world.
So curing is a natural process of preserving food. It's basically just take a hunk of meat and then salt the heck out of it until then after you salt it, you hang it for a really long time until you get cured meat. Well, it's not that simple actually. It's quite complex, but basically that's it. Yeah. So in this video I'm going to tell you how you're going to cure your own meat, as well as I'm going to tell you the science that goes through the curing process. So, some time ago, there's this guy named Cato the Elder. He lived in the 3rd century BC.
Moving on to a more interesting part of the video. In this section, Chef here will demonstrate how to prepare your meat, which is in this case, duck breast, for curing, as well as the ingredients and techniques. So firstly, we need to make sure that the meat is completely dry by simply blotting any extra moisture away. And next is to cut any excess fat that is on the meat. The reason for this is to make sure that the amount of fat is even throughout the bacon, so you won't just get a slice of fat in the end when slicing. Moving on to our spices, you can be creative and use whatever you like, but in this recipe, you will need 1.6 grams of pepper, freshly cracked, 40 grams of salt, and sodium nitrate. So the function of sodium nitrate is to preserve the red color of the meat during the end product. So in the end, you will end up with a light pink cured meat compared to a brownish dark cured meat. So moving on, you need 1.6 grams of star anise. Anyway, 4 grams of ginger in a garlic crusher, as well as 8 grams of sugar just to balance it out. So all these measurements is to 500 grams of meat, so you should adjust the portions of your spices and salt accordingly to the size and weight of your meat, but in this case, duck breast. Finally, cover your meat with the curing mixture and make sure that the salt and spices are even throughout the meat and kept to cure for 4 days in the refrigerator. After that, the salt is removed and hung dried in a dry aging room. Dry aging beef is a process of removing moisture from the product and, more importantly, to lead the product to tenderize over a period of time. It could range from 21 to 45 or even 60 to 90 days depending on the client's needs. And the product in the dry aging room is almost misunderstood because we're not looking to dry the meat like you would prosciutto or a slice of beef jerky. But on the contrary, we want it to be a slow evolution so that the flavor is developed. It does lose some humidity, but in actual fact, it's the flavors that will transform like it would a grape cheese or a bottle of wine. In the dry aging cooler, what you're witnessing is dry aging. It's a pristine environment and is held at 34 to 35 degrees Celsius. This condition will further encourage the meat to shrink, in a way, to dehydrate a little slower to lose body weight. Meat will lose anywhere from 15% of its original body weight when it's finishing the process in the aging room.
So now you know how to cure meat, but what's actually happening in the meat? Come and I'll show you what's going on in the meat and the science that goes through cure. Start already.
So what's happening in the meat right now is called proteolysis. This is a process by which enzymes break down the protein structures. So it breaks down the protein from its quaternary structure or tertiary structure to their secondary or primary structure. And then it further degrades the proteins from long polypeptide chains into peptides and amino acids. This causes the release of flavor compounds and aroma compounds, as well as low molecular weight molecules. So, what are these enzymes that break down the protein? These enzymes, called proteases, are enzymes that react with the protein structures in the meat. They are found in the cell lysosome, and they have specific active sites which reacts with the long polypeptide chains of the proteins and catalyze its breakdown. So, what kind of flavor compounds can we get out of such a reaction? Well, first we have glutamic acid, and then glycine, alanine, all of these which combine to give off the umami taste that is very widely associated with meat. As the aging process continues, more and more longer polypeptide chains will be broken down by the enzymes, and these will increase the amount of peptides and amino acids in the meat. These peptides and amino acids such as glutamic acid, glycine, and alanine are what contributes to the flavor of the meat. So as the concentration of these peptides and amino acids increase, the more the flavor of the meat will increase. And that is how you get cured meat. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel and help us support the foundation for poor students who can't get good grades. 1 like equals 1 prayer. Help a brother out. Yeah, that's all.
You know, I think the credits for